This is a little bit of a different video for me. I don't think I'm gonna like post it on a lot of my social media sites, but I was looking at a lot of YouTube analytics for my videos, which is something I don't do often, and I noticed that there was a lot of traffic coming in for specific videos regarding thyroid scars or thyroid surgery or Graves' disease or Graves' disease and things like that. I noticed two searches in particular. One was thyroid scar care and thyroid surgery, and it just got me thinking of a lot of the time before I got the surgery, when I felt very afraid and I was like looking stuff up a lot online and doing all this research because I had no clue what I was in for. And I just kind of thought I might kind of talk, I guess, more candidly about that, because I feel like while I was preparing to get my surgery, there wasn't a lot of helpful information. There was some helpful stuff. And keep in mind, I don't want this video to be like super long and like 25 minutes of me talking, because it would probably become unwatchable, but I'll try to be brief but thorough. But I mainly just wanted to, I guess, talk about how I was preparing and how I felt, and, you know, feeling very nervous and things like that. But to give you a little background, right now I'm 22 years old. I'll be 23 next month, and I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, hyperthyroidism, when I was in my sophomore year of high school. What they did first was, you know, normal things, like they put me on methimazole, things like that. I don't remember the exact dosages and things like that. It was a really like cloudy time for me, I guess, but it got progressively worse. I wasn't making any progress with the medication. It wasn't going into remission. It just kept getting worse and worse. The first thought, obviously, for a lot of the endocrinologists I had was to have me do the radioactive iodine treatment, because it's normally the safest, according to who I was talking to. But I also had the thyroid eye condition. And I, at the time, was also a very heavy smoker. I was smoking about a pack and a half a day of cigarettes, which is really, really horrible if you do have Graves' disease or you do have a thyroid condition. If you are a smoker, you really, really, really want to consider quitting or cutting back or doing e-cigarettes or anything like that. They gave me a lot of warnings, and I was really, really struggling with that. I really did not want to give up smoking, just because even today I really like tobacco. I haven't smoked cigarettes. I haven't smoked any cigarettes in like 2 years at this point, which is probably why I'm doing a lot better with my thyroid stuff now. My hair is a mess, I'm so sorry, but you can probably tell just from my eyes, the way they are right now, that I do have the thyroid eye disease. My eyes were much, much worse in the past. I was very insecure about it. I felt horrible about it, really. Now it's a big part of my identity, I guess. It doesn't bother me the way it used to. I don't really mind. There have definitely been times where people have commented on it in the past, whether they thought they were just kidding or they were being funny, or they, you know what I mean, just something like that. I'll say it did, a lot of that stuff did hurt. At this point in my life, I'm pretty okay with it. But back to the story. As the medication didn't work, I wasn't going into remission. I couldn't do the iodine treatment because of my smoking habit. They decided to, after I finally agreed to it, they decided to have me do the thyroidectomy in July of 2013. And I decided to do that. As in regards to surgery, I've had 3 surgeries. Each one, they were definitely low level, not crazy risky. One of them was pretty risky, but in regards to surgery, I'll talk more about it in a little bit. But in regards to surgery, mine in particular were pretty easy, I guess. The first thyroidectomy was effective for a time. It worked out. Things were good. When they put you under with the anesthetic, it's so terrifying. You're so scared. You're so nervous. You don't want to do it. But as soon as you go under, they put the mask on you and all that, maybe give you a shot or something, and the second you pass out, like 1 second later, you're waking up, and it's like 5 hours later or whatever. That's kind of how anesthetics have worked for me in the past, is that I go out and then I'm right up, waking up, and there's a nurse taking my blood pressure or something after the surgery. In regards to the actual incision, the first time I got the surgery, it didn't hurt at all. It definitely stung a little bit as it was scarring. That's totally normal. Also, Graves' disease is typically really common in women, and I guess it's a little less prevalent with men. And also, if you're a guy with Graves' disease, I guess it's more likely that your scar will keloid and get bigger, as you can kind of see with mine. It's very visible. It didn't kind of turn into a thin line like most people's do. Mine is definitely kind of keloided. It has looked worse in the past, but this is, definitely not horrible. But after that surgery, things were good. I was on levothyroxine, just living my life, just taking the meds, adjusting them when needed, whether they were too high or too low. But there was a stretch after a few years, it was maybe 2014 or 2015, where my thyroid levels were out of fucking control. They were way too high. No matter how much they dropped, my levothyroxine or Synthroid or whatever, my fucking levels were just so high. I'm sorry about the language if that bothers anybody, but they were just so high and nobody could figure out why. And then when I went to my endocrinologist and they did an ultrasound of my neck and realized that a whole bunch of new thyroid tissue had grown back. Like the thyroid had grown back. It had regenerated itself. We contacted the surgeon that had done the surgery, and it turns out they had to leave a few small pieces of the thyroid in there because they were like too close to my vocal cords, or they were too close to this and that, and they would have been too dangerous to fully remove. So they left them in there. But through some weird circumstance, the thyroid completely grew back. And with this new knowledge, my endocrinologist decided that maybe we would just try to regulate the levels from the new thyroid tissue. And we did that for a while, and it really didn't work out. I think that might have gone on for like 6 months to a year. And basically they explained to me that if I kept going with it, it was futile in a way, because eventually the methimazole would stop having an effect, the way they explained it to me. So I ended up going for another surgery. That was in October of 2017. So yeah, that was actually about a year ago this month. So this is 1 year since the surgery, and it's definitely not looking bad. But like I said, in men who get the thyroid surgery, it tends to keloid a lot more. But with women, actually, weirdly enough, my sister actually has had the same surgery, and you would never even know that she had it. Probably maybe about the same length of time that she had the surgery, since she had the surgery, as mine looks right now. So that is a weird thing. I don't know exactly why that is the case, but that is just what I found in my research and from talking to the doctors. But yeah, so after I had that surgery, it was totally chill. They did the it was definitely surgery wise, I was scared as hell again, because it was a type of recovery surgery where they were going back into a place that had already been operated on. I guess that can typically be a little bit dangerous, but it worked out. It was totally safe. Like I said, I can't say it enough. I was really scared. I was mainly worried about my vocal cords being damaged, but it turns out that I woke up fine. And actually, during this time, about I had quit smoking after the time this has happened, and like this is the part that like really fucked me up, that made me so angry, was that I went like a month and a half after the surgery, I went into my endo to do the ultrasound again, and there was thyroid tissue in my fucking neck again. So it's like, what am I doing? Am I gonna get a third surgery when this completely grows back in a year? But luckily, like I had said, I quit smoking cigarettes, so I was able to safely do the radioactive iodine treatment, like I probably should have done fucking 5 years ago or whatever, 6 years ago. So after I did that, and I did the radioactive iodine treatment probably like 10 or 11 months ago. Right now I'm on 375 micrograms of levothyroxine, and that's going pretty well for me. I know my levels are a little high right now, but you know how it is. It's really just blood test, medication adjustment, you know what I mean? And that goes on for months until you're at a comfortable level. So also, if that's where you're at, it sucks. It sucks. It's a pain in the ass, but it's totally normal. But yeah, so I guess I just wanted to talk candidly about, I guess, my illness and the treatments I've gone through, because like I said, I've been uploading videos to YouTube for a long time. I'm not a lot of people watch them. I don't really care. I mostly just use it as kind of almost like a video scrapbook almost. I just throw stuff up here just to keep it there for me. But yeah, I didn't realize that I was getting some traffic from people looking up stuff about thyroidectomies, thyroid surgery, Graves' disease. So yeah, I don't know. I pretty much always leave my website or my email address in the description. If you want to reach out to me, people have in the past, and if you are somebody, Graves' disease or thyroid condition, and I don't know, I'm obviously not an expert, but I am a person who has been through it and has been going through it for a number of years. And I think too, when I first got diagnosed with it, I had never heard of it. I actually didn't even know what a thyroid was at all. And it's called Graves' disease. It sounds scary, you know? I was like, what the fuck is that? But I think it must be just named after some guy named Dr. Grave or some, you know what I mean? So it's really not a huge deal. I don't think people die from it. But yeah, I just can't say it enough. I don't know, if you are somebody that's been recently diagnosed with Graves' disease, I just want to tell you from somebody who's had it for like 5 or 6 years straight, it's manageable. It really is. With your emotions flying all over the fucking place, you're going crazy. One minute you have a ton of energy, the next minute you have none, you don't know what to do. It's stressful as fuck, but I will tell you, and I mean this with all honesty, it is manageable. You know what I mean? I just really, really suggest, you know, stick around people who, you know, even if they don't understand, stick around people that are trying to understand. You know, I think I've never been to one personally, but I know there are support groups. There's a lot of online support groups, either on Reddit, on Facebook. I'm in a whole bunch of those, you know. There's a lot of, I don't know. And when I was researching it and trying to find information that related to my specific case, I couldn't really find a lot, which is what compelled me to make this video right now. I have made videos about it in the past, but I guess nothing where I just really said this stuff like really, you know, directly. So yeah, this is a bit of a long video, but I suppose anybody who is looking for this specific information probably watch the whole thing. To you, my friend with a Graves' disease or thyroid situation that you don't understand and it's really fucking stressing you out, I'm not gonna lie to you, it won't be very easy. It's gonna be tough. You're probably gonna struggle physically and emotionally. It really is hard. I want you to know that it's valid. This is me looking at you and saying that your struggle is real, it is valid, and I understand. So I don't know. It's tough, but you definitely can have it under control. So those are my few tips. Be around people that are trying to understand you. Stop fucking smoking cigarettes if you smoke cigarettes. And 3, deep breathing. And also, one more thing too. If you have an endocrinologist that is not listening to you or that you feel like doesn't respect you, get a new one. Seriously, that's another huge thing, is make sure your doctors are actually listening to you. And if they're not really listening to you, fucking make them. They get paid either way. I think that's all I'm going to say for now. If you want to email me, contact me in any way, there's probably something below this video that's going to help you do that. But in the meantime, I'm going to shut this off and relax. Okay, bye-bye.